The Turkish Grand Prix, it's lights out and away we go, and they are crawling off the line, especially Max Verstappen. Hamilton, though, gets a really good start, passes 2 cars already. Stroll is in the lead, going into turn 1 ahead of his teammate, Sergio Perez. Hamilton on the inside of Daniel Ricciardo as Esteban Ocon and, crucially, Valtteri Bottas spin out and away onto the runoff area at turn 1. That is a horrendous start for Bottas, not what he would have wanted. Sebastian Vettel already ahead of Max Verstappen, and Alex Albon in the thick of it as well. So Stroll leads Perez, and there going wide is Lewis Hamilton. I was going to say Stroll leads Perez, leads Hamilton, but no, leads Sebastian Vettel. What a start from him from 11th on the grid. Now Alex Albon is overtaking Lewis Hamilton as well. And Max Verstappen, I should say, is overtaking Lewis Hamilton as well. Here comes Alex Albon. He might fancy a run at the Mercedes going into the next corner because he's got hotter tyres. Hamilton's been off the track. Down the inside goes Alex Albon. Does he take the place? Hamilton will try and fight it if he can, but he just hasn't got the grip to do so. He's skating around on thin ice at the moment as Albon manages to get past the Mercedes. This is the run down towards turn 7, and that is how he managed to get past the Ferrari. Seems that he switched his tyres on a little bit better than the 2 around him.
Max Verstappen's asked a really valid question. Why haven't they enabled DRS?
I'm not sure they ever enable DRS when you're on intermediates and wet. Oh, look at that.
Here we go.
There's a chance for Max Verstappen.
Because Sergio Perez didn't get out of that little chicane very well at all, and Verstappen is hot on his tail, and Perez keeps ahead by a metre through turn 11. And Verstappen goes wide and spins as well. He got caught up behind the rear wing of Sergio Perez, and that has proved very costly indeed. He's avoided the barriers, but his teammate Alex Albon now cruises past and goes into 3rd place, and Verstappen through the mud back onto the track again, has lost the podium place and also lost 4th and 5th to Vettel and Hamilton.
Frustration coming through there for Max Verstappen. That's not the smartest thing I've ever seen him do.
No.
Valtteri Bottas.
He's going to want to forget this weekend.
At least his 3rd spin today, isn't it?
He is going to want to forget this weekend as quickly as possible. Here's Lando Norris on George Russell. 11th place up for grabs with this move, and he sends one down the inside, bounces off the Williams and manages to squeeze himself up into 11th.
Didn't punch me off the road. Yeah, saw that.
We're watching Carlos Sainz, who's gaining on Daniel Ricciardo at the moment. And Daniel Ricciardo not having the best of times through that little chicane out of turn 10 and 11. Carlos Sainz ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Sainz moves himself up into 6th place, and in the end the lack of grip that the Renault was suffering made it a lot easier for Sainz than he first thought it might be.
Charles Leclerc, the canary in the coal mine again, is putting a lot of people into the pits for new intermediates, 4 seconds a lap quicker than everybody else on the new intermediates. And the new inters go on. It's a clean pit stop. Oh no, now there's a problem on the right hand side. That's what you didn't need, Seb. But he's away again.
And that's Alex Albon, who has spun around. Talking of costly incidents, how costly is that going to be for Alex Albon? Lewis Hamilton moves into 3rd place. So, new set of intermediate tyres go on for Lance Stroll. Good pit stop from the Racing Point crew, 3.2 seconds, and he'll be back out into the race. Sorted it all out, and there's Verstappen coming through on Lance Stroll. So Stroll has pitted there for a 2nd time and is now behind Max Verstappen. Hamilton, by not pitting, really catching up to Sergio Perez now.
Where this plays into Verstappen's hands is if we do go to slicks, as if the next transition, that wins him back his pit stop effectively, doesn't it?
Here goes Hamilton on Sergio Perez. He's got DRS. Hamilton is going to make a move into turn 12. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the Turkish Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel ahead of Lance Stroll. Stroll's going to keep coming back and trying to get this place once more, and he goes wheel to wheel and gets back past Sebastian Vettel. Charles Leclerc ahead of Max Verstappen, waiting to pick up the scraps. Stroll has fallen back behind Charles Leclerc. The 2 Ferraris now ahead of the one-time race leader.
Can't see that rain in the distance. We'll see if it happens, but it's
Charles
very cold.
Leclerc is now ahead of Sebastian Vettel. He's got his teammate, and Charles Leclerc moves up into 4th place.
Hamilton is now a pit stop clear of Max Verstappen.
Pit stop clear of Charles Leclerc now, because Leclerc has just got past Max Verstappen. 39 laps Hamilton's had those tyres on, 34 laps for Perez. Here goes Carlos Sainz on Alex Albon. Albon thought about trying to move over to the left, realised that the McLaren was there and he couldn't, and Alex Albon has conceded 5th place then. Well, there's a set of inters that just aren't working whatsoever as Lance Stroll goes off the track. Lando Norris gets past the man who started on pole, moves up into 8th place in this race. You've got a feel for Lance Stroll. The World Championship record is equalled. Lewis Hamilton wins the Turkish Grand Prix and is a 7-time champion of the world.
Delight in the Hamilton side of the garage. Look at this little battle. Charles
Leclerc locks up on Sergio Perez. He was trying a move to get 2nd place in this race. Perez comes back at him. Sebastian Vettel comes back at Charles Leclerc. Sergio Perez, for the 3rd time in his Formula One career, can see the checkered flag and takes 2nd place in a race. Sergio Perez on the podium. Sebastian Vettel is back on the podium. And Charles Leclerc, who had the podium in his sights, has to settle for 4th.
Thank you so much, guys. Woo! Woo! That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
Just take a moment to think about what this man has achieved in this sport. He is the greatest of all time. Statistically, he can share that with Michael Schumacher in terms of championships, but he's made his mark on this sport in such an impressive way.